Hello everyone. Today we're going to start learning JavaScript by making the header text change every time we hover over it. First, we're going to go to the h1 with the header class, and we're going to give it an ID of header also. And then we're also going to give it an onMouse enter property, and we're just gonna call it unhover. Okay, and that's everything for the HTML for now. Next, we're going to move into our script, into our JavaScript file, and we're going to start by creating that function on hover. And the first thing we're going to do is create a variable called header, and it's going to equal to document.getElementById, and then we're gonna use that header ID to get the proper element. All right, then we're gonna check if the header.innerText.length is bigger than 0. So that means if there is any text, we're going to call a function that's called delete text. Alright, so then we're going to create that function called delete text, and in this function we're going to start by creating that same variable of header, because we need to essentially get the element that we're working with in every function. Alright, so the next thing is we're going to create a variable called text, and we're going to make that equal to the header.innerText, and then text is going to equal to text.slice, and then it's going to be 0, -1, and that means to remove the last one. Alright, and then we're going to set the header.innerText to text again, so that actually applies to the actual element. And then we're going to say that if the header.innerText.length is bigger than 0, so if there's still text remaining, we're going to set a timeout. A timeout means that the code inside this here will run after a certain amount of time has passed, in this case 100 milliseconds. And then after that time has passed, we're going to call delete text again. Now, if the header.innerText.length is equal to 0, then we're going to call a different function. We're going to call a function called add text, and this function is actually going to contain a parameter, and for this we're going to use another function as a parameter called getGreeting. Right, so next we're going to create the first function, which is add text, and this function is going to take a parameter text, and the first thing is we need to create that header variable again. Next, we're going to add the first character of the text to the header. So how we do that is header.innerText equals header.innerText.concat. Then it's going to be text at header.innerText.length. Right, then we're going to check if the header.innerText.length is smaller than the text.length. So that means that the text hasn't been fully added yet. Then we're going to set another timeout for 100 milliseconds, and we're going to call add text with the text. Alright, next we're going to create that function called getGreeting, and for this function I'm going to copy in a list of greetings. It's a pretty short list. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're going to return greetings at, and then we're going to do math.random, which returns a value from 0 to 1, and we're going to multiply it by the greetings.length -1. And what that will do is it will return a value from 0 to however many greetings there are -1, and that will return pretty much one of the greetings at random. And as you can see, you can test it, and every time you hover over it, it goes one character at a time and it slowly replaces them.